Hello everyone, my name is Jason from shishaintheuk.co.uk and hookahbad.com. Today we're bringing you a kind of an instructional, informational video. Now this is going to cause a lot of trolls down here in the comments and a lot of controversy, so unfortunately I'm going to disable the comments for this video, but if you do want to ask me any questions, please private message me or send me a message on my Facebook page, Shisha in the UK Facebook page, or on the website. Now today, this is about, is Shisha bad for you? Now you get a lot of things in the news saying, right, to start with, they say, I've heard, this one Shisha session can be as bad as 100 cigarettes, or 200 or 300, I've even heard 600. Now, they say you inhale what sometimes I've heard 10 times or 100 times the same volume of smoke. I'm going to be trying and be unbiased as possible here, but you may inhale more smoke, but it's not necessarily smoke. That's just like saying, having a litre of vodka is the same as a litre of water. It doesn't mean it contains the same things. Now the smoke here is a lot of molasses. What tobacco is, it's kind of a base, if you will, for glycerin and all these things. So the more wet and glycerin you get, the more smoke you'll get. If you get a dry shisha, it will burn your chest because the heat on it will make the shisha burn. You are not burning the shisha, you are baking it, if you will, and making the molasses evaporate. So when people say it's the same as smoking 100 cigarettes, 200, 300, whatever, it's not. It's not, because I challenge a person to smoke 100 cigarettes, or even 50 cigarettes, in the same time as I smoke a lot of shisha. No, you're going to be going away with your chest hurting, feeling lightheaded or sick. I walk away just fine. And on the same basis, I don't, that's not one cigarette gone, is it? That's the same rate, and the same rate as I'm talking to you. You tend to smoke with friends as well, so you pass it around as well. That's another thing I'd like to bring up. You hear a lot of things about viruses, or things like being spread around with the mouth tip. Simple. Use a little insert tip, you have your own. That's that gone. Right, what they also say, it contains 100 times the amount of tar and things like that. That's rubbish. That is utter rubbish. I'll show you here, contents, if you can see it. It's not going to focus. There, if you can see it. There you go, nicotine. 0.05% nicotine. I'll bet you a cigarette doesn't have that. I bet it's a lot, and they actually add nicotine to it as well, obviously for the addiction factor. With cigarettes, not this. And here, I don't know if you can see it again, there it is. Tar. 0%, 0%. That's it really. Now, that is another thing. I'd say you will have to be careful with shisha, because as I say, when you do take in the amount of smoke, well, it's vapor, amount of smoke you take in, you do, I'd say, on the position of being balanced, you do probably deprive yourself of more oxygen. So chill out. If you find yourself getting a bit lightheaded, it's because you are depriving yourself of oxygen, or air, if you will. So just be careful, and that's why you tend to pass around or have a break. You don't, not that, because you will get lightheaded, as you will do doing this. So just be careful with that. Another thing I often get asked is about stomach bugs in the water. Don't drink the water. But obviously use clean water, use filtered water if you want to, and just change it out every single time. And then, I never even heard of this one, to be honest with you. A lot of these different facts that come out that are Shisha bad for you, I'm not going to say it's good for you, because anything that you inhale into your lungs that's not air, even air sometimes, isn't good for you. So it's not going to be good for you, but it's not as bad as cigarettes. I'm sorry, I'm not a doctor, but it's not as bad as cigarettes. Now, a lot of these different things, they don't come out with it. They say studies have been done. Where are the studies? Where are the studies? I'm sorry. Oh, let me have a look at the studies. If anyone knows of the studies, please PM me. I'd love to have a look at them, because any facts or studies that have been done, I haven't seen any proof, I have to admit. And I'm also seeing studies that have come out recently, again, without any proof though, that shisha isn't as bad for you, but then tobacco companies don't really want you to see that, and the anti-smoking leagues don't want you to see that. One thing I will say is make sure you take care of your hookah. Wash it out. Well, to be honest, I wash it out every single time. That's why, if you see behind me there, I've got quite a few, so I don't have to wash it out straight away. I can just go on to another one, and just clean it well. But that's it. Just, you know, take care of your hookah, and that will serve you well. Right. Also, shisha is everywhere. Shisha is washed. Basically, what that means is they take it and they pretty much boil it. They boil it, and well, to a majority degree, and which takes out a lot of the bad chemicals or pesticides and things like that are used. So it's going to be a lot cleaner than the vast majority of tobacco. Just remember, the tobacco is a base. You don't smoke it, because as I say, when you look in at the end of your shisha session, and it's all done and dusted, you'll see just dried tobacco. With cigarettes, it's burnt, so you get ash. So obviously you do inhale some of that ash and whatnot. You don't with this. You don't, as long as you smoke it right, as long as you don't put too much coals in it, it's completely fine. Well, not fine, but it's a lot better. So you're baking it, okay? It doesn't leave ash. It's another thing worth mentioning. Nicotine evaporates at a temperature below its boiling point. So there you go. Right, they say it's still very addictive. I have never been addicted. I've been smoking this, not actually, even though I wasn't supposed to. I don't condone this whatsoever. I tried it very, very young. I was completely fine. I didn't want to go, oh, I need I really need some shisha. It doesn't work like that. Right, got all these notes to make sure I don't talk too much crap. Okay, yeah, use the correct coals, because I've heard things about carbon monoxide. Well, you don't use, say, the stuff you would put in a fire or stuff you really put on your barbecue. Use proper coals, the stuff that don't give off the same type of thing. And if you use quick lights, make sure it's completely grey or red beforehand, and leave it for a few seconds, so that will go, because it's only the first layer that has that, otherwise it's not. And I'm using coconut coals at the moment, which doesn't give off pretty much the same amount of carbon monoxide, if anything. And if you're worried about taking in any iffiness or any crap really from the coals, use what's called a cloud lotus, which is one of these. Okay, normally you would have foil, which I've got now, and you poke holes in it, so anything possibly could be dragged down through the shisha. If you're using an Egyptian bowl, or one of these type of bowls with holes in the bottom, can be dragged down through there into the water, but it will stay in the water really. But I mean, if you're worried about that, use one of these, which is a flat bottom. Okay, the coals will sit on there, just heat up this, and then heat the tobacco and the shisha that way. But to be honest with you, I haven't seen any negative effects either way. They say it causes cancer. Now, I'm not going to say it doesn't, because everything causing cancer nowadays. I read an article in the newspaper where apples cause cancer. Air causes cancer. A lot of fizzy drinks, you know, soft drinks cause cancer, especially the ones with aspartame in it. So the diet, so-called healthy-ish fizzy drinks, or sodas if you will, they cause cancer because of the aspartame, because of the sweetener in it. Everything causes cancer. Just everything in moderation. That's what you need to do really. As I say, I do get lightheaded sometimes. Just take a break. It's because obviously you're inhaling and exhaling too much. That's why. One thing I do get asked is ages for, is it okay for me to smoke this and I'm only 14? Don't ask me that. I'm actually now, so so obviously I'm at the legal age, but just when your body's developing, I wouldn't recommend you smoking it, because you never know when your body's developing. You don't want to put anything negative into your body because of that. So I wouldn't recommend smoking it below 18, the legal age. You know, some places I've heard it is 21 now, so be careful. I think that is everything. Oh no. I've been asked about herbals. I don't quite know the content of them, but herbals, it's not tobacco. To be honest with you, that tends to affect my chest a little bit more, maybe because it's easier to burn, so you have to use less coals. I don't quite know, but I don't like herbals myself because it's not the same. It doesn't taste as nice, I don't think. Vaporizing. Now, the government and different people in the EU and abroad are trying to ban them for this, that and the other reason, because they don't actually know how bad it is for you. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's still really just as bad for cigarettes. I wouldn't say it either way, but personally I'd say it's not. There is an additive called propylene glycerol in these different things, and it's not glycerin in these, because glycerin is basically just kind of like a sugar base or a sugar compound. Yeah, because the contents here of this normal shisha says, this isn't the one I'm using, but this is what it says on every one of them. It says Virginia tobacco, honey, glycerin and flavourings. And flavourings, i.e. are going to be different forms of molasses or different syrups and different flavoured syrups. And as you know, what you do is when you're making a syrup is you just kind of macerate whatever type of fruit you want into the sugary water, or like a mint into the sugary water, and let, well, not ferment, but macerate in there. Go away, cat. So that's it really. I mean, if you do have any questions, I mean, please, you know, PM me. I'm not going to put comments down here because open up the comments, because people are just going to troll. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Also, I'm going to have my Shisha in the UK Facebook page, which is facebook.com/ShishaInUK, open for questions, the same for my website. You know, I'll just say, before you read in, you know, buy into any of these news articles, because you're always getting them come up online. I haven't, touch wood, don't think I've seen anything in the paper or on the TV about it, so it hasn't quite gone to that far. But a lot of the articles I see in the papers online, just don't buy into it until you've seen the facts. Don't believe there's been a study until you've seen the study. Okay, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to Shisha in the UK, and I'll see you next time. Bye.